Hello?
Hey, Ike, what's good?
Wait, I can't hear you.
Hold on. Okay, how about now?
Yeah.
Okay, so for everybody who just joined the live, I just want to say this is our premiere opening episode of On Call, and Isaac is my co-host, and we have our lovely guests here, Lakeisha and Alex. And today's episode is focused on dating and relationships, but just a little background on call. It really just derived from the conversations that I'll be having one-on-one with these lovely people on the phone. Like, we just get right into the nitty-gritty and just want to like give y'all a real genuine experience about as to what kind of conversations we have, but also just try to get y'all's opinions on a lot of the topics that we're going to speak on throughout this series. So I definitely appreciate my guests here, Alex, Lakeisha, Isaac. I just want to know how y'all feeling. How's y'all souls feeling today? Anybody?
My soul's feeling good. My soul is blessed, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get this camera set up right because it looks like I need to be in portrait for what we're doing. But I'm good, well nourished, hydrated. How y'all
Yes.
I know that's right.
As you should be.
Yes. I'm good. I didn't know what type of thing we were doing. So I know last time it was like a drink thing. So I brought my drink. I didn't know, is that still a thing?
Yeah, I always got something to,
Okay.
talk.
So I'm hydrated as well.
I am hydrated, but
I'm about to be
not
dehydrated in a second. So it's been a long time since we all been on the phone together at the same time. So I'm definitely appreciative of y'all being here. You good, Alex?
The phone set up. It's the phone set up. My phone ain't charged, so.
Oh no.
I know.
So I just figured we hop into it, right into it. So I got a real deep question for each one of y'all. I can also give my response after y'all, but my first question for y'all is, what is your definition of love?
I mean,
that is deep.
Let us know where you want us to start, because
I know it can go anywhere.
I'm very happy to see Lakeisha. I haven't seen you in so long, Lakeisha.
I'm happy to see you too.
It's been a minute. You look like you look like you went in too. You look like you
right. It's the glow for me. It's the skincare.
I'm trying to.
It really is.
Excellent. So you said, what does love mean, Aja?
Yes. What does love mean to you?
I don't know, y'all. I'm recently.
Oh yes, and actually, before you even answer that question, before y'all answer, I want to know, like, what is y'all relationship status, and then you can tell me, what is love.
Okay.
What is love? Well, I'm single as a Pringle. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about that later, but I'm single for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you
recently single?
Open?
The DMs are open and they're lukewarm. I ain't gonna say they hot, but they warm. You know what I'm saying? They bubbling, they simmering.
So what is love, Isaac?
Well, she said she wants to hear everybody's status.
No.
Oh.
You can go ahead. You can say what's love, and then when they say theirs, they come.
I'm recently single, so I'm really rediscovering what love is. So for our successfully married folks on the chat, Lakeisha, I want to hear what y'all think. Y'all tell me what love is, because I thought I knew, and clearly I didn't.
Oh shit.
Alexandra, go, because I think my answer is going to be long.
Okay. So, I'm single. I think love is just, what the vows say, better for worse, richer for poor, all that, I've never really been in love for real. Like, family love, I have friend love, but I think it's just being really, like, being yourself and, like, accepting people for, like, who they are. You know what I mean? And not giving up when they're not fulfilling what you thought they were supposed to be. Because I was talking to somebody and they're saying, like, people know how to love me, like, when I'm in a good mood, but when I'm, like, sad or when I'm anxious and things like that, people tend to shy away from me. And I think love is really being with somebody through both of those stages.
Yeah. And I think it's
That's
multiple stages too throughout relationships. So I definitely could relate to that. Like,
Real right. And to everybody watching, if y'all have any questions at any point or feedback, you know what I'm saying,
oh
I'm kicking
yeah,
it, so y'all feel free to add.
yeah, for
They're
sure.
talking in the comments.
I
I
know.
see.
Dreadhead Calvo said love is an energy that people harness to show each other affection, to start new lives, and meet new adventures with one another. I think that's
That's
pretty
beautiful.
eloquently said.
yeah,
I agree.
I don't think there is a
Beautiful.
cookie
absolutely.
cutter definition of love. I don't know. That's why I'm asking everybody what it means to them. So go ahead, Lakeisha.
Yeah. So I'm
Which,
Lakeisha, and I am married. Originally, before marriage, I thought love was, things that I read about in books,
Mm-hmm.
things I saw in movies. I thought love was this romantic, beautiful, nothing bad ever happens, or like there's one bad thing maybe, and like you live happily ever after. That's what I thought love was.
yeah.
And then I got married, and I'm also Christian. So love to me is defined biblically now. At least that's the probably something I'm struggling with, but trying to learn. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it's a very famous Bible verse. Love is patient, love is kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot. And like all those things, all the things that the Bible verse mentions has their own biblical definition.
Mm.
So love right now for me is looking like a process, a lifelong process.
Okay, I like that answer.
I
'Cause
I know
Yeah.
I was not ready for church. I'm not even dressed for church, but
I'm sorry.
okay.
She said I'm not dressed for
No,
church.
no, but it's okay though. Like, no, I really do. I like that Bible verse though, because I've seen this TikTok about if you really want to know if somebody's compatible with you, replace the word love with that person's name, and if they meet the majority of those things in the Bible, then I mean, not that that's the end all be all, but
Right.
it kind of can help you have clarity about where that person is and whether they might fit into your life.
That's interesting.
I do want to touch on Lakeisha, like you said, I thought it was this and now it's this. I was
Right.
talking to my mom the other day, and I've come to the
Hey,
conclusion that I have been misled
I know that's right.
between reading Romeo
man,
and Juliet, because we had to read Romeo and Juliet in high school.
Shakespeare. I was gonna say Shakespeare, but I didn't want to get too
Yeah,
crazy.
listen, the
no,
Disney
for
Channel
real though.
original movies,
Uh-huh.
like I definitely thought it was like something different, something else than
Yeah.
what it is,
Yeah.
personally. So, I mean, but
Zac
obviously,
Efron and Vanessa Hudgens. That's what I
right.
thought it was.
Right.
No, for real though. So, like, I think
So,
for me, so for everybody who doesn't know who I am, I'm Anjali Marie. I'm the host of On Call. I am single as a Pringle. Um, I think my take on love is just selflessness and perseverance, if I could put it into two words, because I think you really have to compromise and do things that maybe necessarily you don't like to do, but it's for the benefit of both of y'all to grow together. And then the perseverance really comes when, to your point, Alex, about these different stages of a relationship. Like, it's not gonna be always fun and games. It's not gonna always be that Disney movie. So I think just being able to persevere and love somebody through the hardest times. And I think that those are the times where you can really prove that your love for somebody is real.
Mm-hmm.
say perseverance, because that's real.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got a lot of topics to get through, but what I will say is that difficult times are a real test of love, because
Yeah.
when you're younger, meet somebody, they cute, kick it, good times. That's one thing. But then, as we age, people die. We lose grandparents, we lose
Mm.
friends sometimes. We go through things, career, and for
Yeah.
ourselves, that can be difficult, or for our partner. And like to be able to persevere through that, be there for them, they be there for you. To me, that is a very important test as we talk about tests, being tested. So
Yeah.
I've
Our
learned
love
that.
our love is definitely tested. consistently. So
And
even
like, I
even
think
in friendships too.
Yes, I agree.
Hmm. Go ahead, Alex. What were you
you
saying?
said even in what ships?
Friendships, like just
Oh
regular
yeah,
relationships, people that you love and care for.
Cruise
yeah,
ship.
yeah. And people say like, you know, when you really love somebody, when you're more like when you can find peace being just with them, just as like when you're by yourself. How does that quote go? Like when like you're content. It's like you find more joy being with them than when you're by yourself. Like you're by yourself, it's like for me, it's very peaceful. Um, you know, I only have my thoughts influencing me, but when you're with someone else, if their thoughts are, you know, just as powerful and helpful and like
They add
influencing you in a good
value.
way.
Yeah, they adding value to the
Yeah,
relationship.
they're adding
Mhm.
value, and I think that's important. But I mean, if somebody's not adding value, can you still love them? I don't know.
You can love
Nope.
somebody. You can.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I mean, no. I think you definitely can, but it's gonna be from a distance. Like, I don't know if I could be with you, but I can still love you.
But wait, okay,
Listen.
so if you're with your husband and one
Oh,
keep losing that, and that you say he loses his job, like, and he's not contributing,
oh.
you still gonna love him? You
Yeah,
gonna
I'm still
continue?
gonna. I mean, yeah, I'm still. Are you asking me? I'm not
Yeah.
married. That's what Keisha.
Yeah, because
Look, Vinix over there in the living room, like, well, would you? Would you still
no,
love
he's
me?
he's he's actually not here, but I'm actually currently unemployed. So
Okay.
he could leave me in the dirt, and he hasn't.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
Mm.
yeah, that's
And,
so
real.
yeah,
and when
I wouldn't do something like that because that's just messed up. It's a job. There's plenty of jobs. He's gonna get
Yes,
another job. Like
right.
it's
And
gonna be all
Right.
money
right.
and being able
yeah,
to provide financially is not like
The
the
only thing
entire
you need from
relationship
a
that
partner.
you, yeah,
Yeah,
that you
right.
need from a
exactly.
partner.
And
So
yeah,
When you talk about adding value, money is value and it's important value. It's currency, but
Mhm.
that's not the only type of value. You know what I'm saying?
Right, 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 right.
So do they?
I believe that that's one of the major issues with dating today is everybody is interested in um I think I think financial value is one of the bigger ones. It's whenever people say what do you bring to the
to the
table,
table, I was
yes,
just
I
gonna
feel like
say,
most people are talking about that and it's like, geez, can I bring my personality to the table? Like
Right. How much money you
can we
putting on the
just not
table?
have the table analogy? Shit.
right.
I mean, I think it's important, but I think,
Yeah.
and I really do think it's a part of maturity too, because I think when you're younger, certain things are attract you. And it's also simple. When you're young, your brain, your lifestyle is simple. So money, being cute, you know what I'm saying? That's it. But as you get older,
Yeah.
then we realize the importance of emotional stability. Do they make you feel
Mm.
safe? Do they hold you
Yes.
down? Can you trust them? Do they
Yeah.
motivate you? Because I'm big on like whoever you're with, you should wake up and kind of look at them. And even if you're mad at them, they should give you a little bit more gas in your tank. Like they should make
Mm.
you
Yeah.
want to go a little bit harder. Like you should want to
Yeah.
impress them. So like, do they give you that feeling? Like you want to make them proud. Like I think all of that
Yeah.
is important, and we realize that more as we mature and as we age. I think
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have personally.
Yeah. For sure. Speaking of like making people proud, like another thing I was thinking about was how in the beginning of a relationship, you always put your best foot forward. You getting real cute, y'all. You know, you gonna make sure you showered and cleaned and ready for a nice little date. You might be, what I'm saying. Do you think
Absolutely.
that it's important with keeping up appearances throughout the relationship, saying the way that you look from the beginning, and or is that a shallow thing to expect from your partner? Because a lot of people I've heard like, oh, this person let themselves go. I'm like not as interested in them because those are like their looks was like something that I did fall for.
Right.
Is that something that's like? Do you think that is shallow to have that expectation? Do you think that it's a realistic expectation to have, or what?
I think it's like when you're trying to connect with someone and they truly care about themselves, they're automatically going to care about their physical appearance. Like that
Mm-hmm.
should all be kind of connected. So if their physical appearance is falling off, maybe something in the inside is off balance. But I do the thing is, it's more of like a self-expectation thing. Like, I should already be doing that if I'm not dating someone. Like, if I want my nails to be done, they should already look good if I'm dating someone or if I'm not dating someone. Like, that's something more about self-worth as opposed to like a relationship thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to touch on that for sure. I think that, and I always say this, I think one of the most hurtful things that you can do in a relationship is try to change someone. So I feel like however you found them, if you found them a certain way, a certain weight, certain body type,
No, that's right.
I think you should be willing to accept them that way for a while. And I think that I too think that it's important to expect growth, but you can't meet somebody and they 200 pounds and, you know, let's say 250 pounds. Let's put it up there a little bit. And they, you know, 28% body fat, and then a year into the relationship, you feel like, you know, they need to do this and do that. It's like you met them this way, so that's how I feel. But I do think over
What
time,
about the opposite though? Like, what if I was looking like this and then I gained 150 pounds?
I think that goes like with what Alex said. Like, whenever something like that happens, typically there is something, you know, going on that's causing that. Like, so, and for me, generally, I feel like it's about health and wellness. You know, it shouldn't be all about aesthetics, but you don't want nobody that is well and then now their health is deteriorating because they're going through something. But I think it's a gentle line. I think it's important to make people feel comfortable and, you know, help themselves. But I don't know. I'm big on kindness and not making people feel bad about themselves. Like, I had a friend who, you know, boyfriend was telling them she need to wear makeup or she don't wear makeup enough, and I was like, red flag, red flag. You're like, dang.
But I bet it's different though. So it's gonna be one thing when you say like, okay, I don't want somebody. It's okay, I'm gonna accept them. When you actually have to sleep with that person and have relations with that person and be all up in that person's face, and you're not into a certain type of looks, you know what I mean? If I like a more skinnier dude as opposed to a muscular dude, whatever, and they're gonna change their body, it's like I was attracted to that skinny person as opposed to that muscular person. So it's easier said than done because we have eyes. I don't know.
Right. I think that you should enjoy a person's aesthetic but not expect anything, you know? And I think you should go after what you enjoy. So like if you like a certain appearance, you know, that's the type of, you know, person you should go after. Don't go after people thinking you're going to change them or like, oh, they have potential and I can fix them up or whatever, because people really do that. Like, oh, you know, I can get her in the gym, or, you know, I can help him dress better. Like, no. Love people for how they show up, or don't love them, you know, love somebody else. Like,
and I would say this, like, so can I talk to guys? Okay, so me and Isaac both really into nutrition. We both have the masters in nutrition. But the thing is, people get mad at me when I say I don't date dudes that stay eating McDonald's. People get mad at me. But, like, I can't change.
That's your choice.
Right, exactly. I can't change that he's going to keep eating McDonald's all the time and then possibly mess with his heart. People think that's shallow and that's messed up. But that's something that I, like, value, is the way you treat your body and what you consume. So...
yeah, I don't think that's shallow, especially, I mean, we know that Black people are dying of preventable disease. So if you had, like, I don't think that having that sort of, you know, like, standard is a bad thing at all.
Yeah. And I mean, I definitely think when it comes genuinely from concern for your health and well-being, but I think there's some people who, like, I guess, like, the reason I brought this topic up is because, like, I've dated people before that was like, oh, like, I couldn't date you if you became this certain weight, or like you didn't lose like your pregnancy weight after having a baby. And these are all like hypothetical conversations. So it's just like, so
now that's different. That's different right there. Because if I just had your child, you need to pipe down. Pipe down.
And I will say too, I think it's like, it's a way to do it. I think it's about kindness. And I wish, can somebody tell me how to use IG Live? Like, how do you respond to people in the chat?
It says the comments are right down at the bottom.
I see the comments. That's what I'm saying. Like, how do I
I don't know if you can tag someone or like reply that way. I mean, you can talk to them and be like, hey.
You can maybe do their at. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I could do that. But I was just thinking, it's a way to do it, because even when you talk about like style, like helping somebody with their style, dress
Yeah.
better. I had an ex that I felt like I was fly, you know what I'm saying, freshman year of college. But I had a boo that she, you know, taught me about the spring colors and the summer colors and the fall and like certain stuff, put me on to certain stores, and I was not mad. Like she leveled, but it was never like you tacky, you know, you need to dress better or ever making me feel bad about myself. It was more like we went to, you know, shopping, and she would tell me certain things, have me try stuff on. I was like, wait, that's fly. I like that. And then it's
Right.
you know, so it's more about, I think, teaching and just, you know, both people making the other person better. I feel.
Yeah,
Right.
for real.
I like that.
That's that adding the value thing. Because honestly, though, if I ever faced that situation with a man, like, you know, he gained some weight and I was concerned about his health, I would just be like, hey, babe, you want to come to the gym with me? Like, we can make this a date. We can do this together. I probably wouldn't even be like, you gaining too much weight right now. I would never say something like that. But it's definitely about the approach, especially if it's coming from a place of love.
Right.
Yeah,
So.
and I mean, we all gain a little weight. Like personally, when my baby was in utero, when she was baking for 9 months, I was stressed, y'all. That combined with COVID, I remember putting my pants on, because you know, in COVID we weren't wearing dress pants for a minute, and I remember when I finally went to put them dress pants on, I was like, hey, why you drying my pants? You know they shrink in the dryer. She was like, I haven't been drying your pants. And I was like,
I'm with.
It felt very much like, you know, on Norbit, like, Norbit, why you adjusting my seat? It's like, nobody adjusted your seat. You just getting bigger. Like, and, you know, the weight has fell off. You know what I'm saying? I'm back slim, trim, you know what I'm saying? But
good.
I appreciate it. And it happened. So I feel like, I don't know. Don't let a little weight scare you away.
No, for real, though. For real, though. Yeah, I think we covered that one. That's good. That's good. So the next question is, and this can go any way. So, I mean, I don't really know. Can you be friends with the opposite sex in a committed relationship? And how about an ex?
Isaac, answer.
I feel like
I know your opinion on that shit. So keep it on.
My stance is, if you were friends before, yes. Also, no friends that you were in a relationship before. That's my stance. And I also feel like at the end of the day, it really comes down to expectations and two people agreeing on a certain, because some people, they don't care. Be friends with who you want. Both, and as long as both sides is cool with that, that's cool. Me personally, absolutely not. Not exes. Opposite sex, yes, but exes, it's a no for me personally.
Yeah.
That's a big non-negotiable in my book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what for?
Yeah.
Isaac, so what would you do if like your committed person was like, I'm gonna be friends with them anyway? What would you do? Like, I'm gonna go hang out with them. What would you do?
I'm an exit stage left. I'm gonna be single.
Yeah, that's a non-negotiable for him. So.
Yeah, that's a non-negotiable.
What if you're married?
I mean, at that point, I think all that stuff has been sorted out. So I'm not gonna get married before all that is understood.
Say that part.
That's smart. You smart.
No, yeah.
But I mean, that sounds good.
Right, but it could still happen. Yeah. That's real. That's a reality of like getting married, is that everything you prepare yourself for, it could all still happen.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be married for like 60 years.
Exactly.
Like, say you get married at 30, you die at 90.
And we haven't even talked about them work people, work wives, work friends, those people that become like ingrained in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my opinion on the topic is that for my partner, I don't mind friendships with the opposite sex at all.
Yeah.
Friends with the ex, I guess I would have to like really think about that one, because I guess if y'all still trying to be more than exes, no. But if you guys are genuinely like, that's over, we're just friends, I guess I'm just not a person who has like problems with that sort of thing. But then for me, though, for myself, I typically don't have like close male friends. Like, since I've been in a relationship and since I've been married, I have like friends that like McNair buddies, basically. Like that's what I have. Those are the men in my life. McNair, people from McNair.
Yeah.
But I don't talk. It's not like I'm on the phone texting them and stuff like that. Like when I see them, I'm happy to see them. I say hello. I want to know how they're doing, but I wouldn't say that I'm like tight with anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and exes, I don't really got none. So.
No, I definitely think that it's a fine line for these friends. I think that for me, just based on past experience, I would want to like meet your friends, especially if y'all finna hang out like solo. I don't know. Like I would definitely want to know what kind of vibe you give off when I meet you. But as long as they don't have a problem hiding that person from me, like I don't see it being a big deal. I definitely don't think it's healthy to stay or remain friends with an ex personally, because I just feel like once you like grow a tree, you can't bring it back down to the stump. Like it doesn't go back into the ground. Like there were feelings, there was an emotional connection between y'all two. Like that can always, come back. So I personally wouldn't be friends with an ex. Like there's definitely no love lost from anybody that is an ex for me, but I'm just not gonna extend that olive branch to you.
I agree. And I see a comment in the chat. It's T. It's _
That's
T.
Tay, Alante.
Alante
Sure
said it
Alante,
comes down to a level of respect. You wouldn't place your significant other in a position to question their trust based on actions. And I felt like that's a big thing. Like, I think it's your role to make your other person feel comfortable, because do you got some people like Lakeisha that's like, that don't really bother me? Yes. Do you have other people that's gonna bother the hell out of them, and they're gonna have questions and they're gonna want to know the nature of your relationship? Absolutely. And I think it's nothing wrong with explaining yourself sometimes. Like one pet peeve for me personally is somebody, significant other, that feel like, I don't gotta explain myself to you. It's like, actually, you do have to explain yourself to me.
Not coming up to the screen.
You indeed have to explain yourself to me. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem. And it ain't about control. Like, I'm not going to tell you where you can and can't go, who you can and can't be with. But, like, you should want me to be comfortable, and I should want you to be comfortable with who I'm around. And if I tell you this is my friend, my sis, never been no feelings, never been nothing like that. We've been friends since before I had hair on my armpits, which I have a couple friends that are female that I've been friends with since 4th grade. Then I'm going to tell you all that so that you can see them as a sis just how I see them as a sis. Like, and if it's somebody else, then it's a no. And I actually think about, like, when I was in a relationship, I would meet, girls, you know what I'm saying? And they would be, hey, like your haircut. I'd be like, thanks. But I'm not going to kick it with you one-on-one. Like, I'll tell my bro, like, she trying to go to this bar, I think it's going to be lit, but I'm only going if you go. I'm only going if it's a group. I'm not going to give her the wrong idea and be kicking with her one-on-one. I feel like making new friends of the opposite sex while you're in a relationship, that's a slippery slope for me. My mom wasn't out here. My mom wasn't out here having coffee with John from work, you know what I'm saying, while she was married to my dad. That just wasn't how I grew up. And I feel like, for me, I feel like I'm a king. And when I'm in a relationship, this is the kingdom. We don't mingle out of the kingdom too much, you know what I'm saying? And if we do,
that's right. He said we bring people to court. Okay.
And if we mingling, it need to be a reason. Is they making it, you know what I'm saying? Is this a business meeting? Is this because like I'm your friend.
And I would say this too. The thing is, people are out here acting. This is kind of like a challenge. Somebody comment. That's a good thing. Sorry, it's just over on my phone. So like, I think it's people act like they're married when they're actually friends. Not friends, when they're actually. So people.
What you say? What was that?
People act. Okay, so people are in boyfriend-girlfriend relationships playing house.
Oh, yes.
So the thing is, you have to find the boundary between boyfriend, girlfriend, marriage. Just like there are boundaries for each one. You can't expect husband and wife things out of your boyfriend.
But what does that look like? I was going to say, what does that look like, though? because
feel
I want to
attacked.
spoil the fuck out of my man. Like,
But if you're in a committed relationship, if you said, okay, like this is something I'm serious about. Serious
yeah,
typically means I hope this ends in marriage or something
yeah,
like that. You know, I hope, you know, this lasts a long time.
Right,
yeah.
So
right.
then you have to act like you want it to last a long time, you know?
Right.
Do y'all
Then what's
go
the
into
point of
it
being
thinking that
married?
y'all are get? I was gonna say, do y'all go into it thinking that you're gonna get married, or do you go into it saying like, I want to see where this goes?
For me it was I want to see where things go.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get married until much later in life, but that's just not how it worked out for me.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, my boy Dre Cavo, he dropping some gems. He said, becoming best friends with your significant other is the best. I'm single, but that experience 1 in a million. And I agree with that.
I do too.
I think going in expecting to get married is unhealthy personally.
I completely agree.
I think that's an attachment issue. I know we're also going to talk about love at first
I
sight.
can't stand when people
Personally,
say that.
I think
Don't
love at
date
first sight,
unless you're thinking about marriage. What? No.
Yeah,
I think the love at first sight is a little bit of trauma, a little bit of childhood trauma. Because how you love somebody at first sight, I don't know. You can think they're cute, but we'll talk
I feel
about
like
that.
I was gonna say, I feel like I felt on that road before.
I mean, me too. I say it from experience, but I think it's more like
Oh, but I
love.
want to say something else on the topic first before we
Okay.
move on,
Yeah.
because you know, you and Isaac gave, you know, for Isaac it was non-negotiable, and for you it was like not non-negotiable, but you don't like it, right? But I was
Yeah.
thinking just a little bit of transparency. You know, when I'm cool with my husband having other friends, but then later sometimes I'll question if you know something's happening or if something's happened and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not really that I'm not okay with it. I just allow it because I'm not gonna like argue or fight about something that like it's their decision at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
One thing about me, we're gonna talk about it now. We're gonna talk about it right now. Hopefully, we come to a resolution. Cause I don't like sitting on stuff.
I don't either.
But you
At
don't
all.
always come to a resolution, and that's another
That's
thing you
So,
true.
learn
like,
in
what do you
marriage.
do? Yeah, what do you do when you're at a stalemate with somebody? That was actually okay. This was another question.
Call God. Call God.
Phone a friend. Phone a God.
Seriously,
Phone Jesus.
it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah. It's really so for real. My question on that, like, segue into that, is how do you adapt to changes in expectations in a marriage? Because like once you're there, like y'all got to figure out a common ground. But I don't know. Like for example, there might be something that I really wasn't interested in going into the marriage, but now I am interested in it, and like I don't want to go the rest of my life without ever trying it or doing it or experiencing it. And like since you're my person, how do you navigate that?
I feel like entrepreneurship is a really good example. A lot of people like quit their jobs and start businesses, and their families have to like be behind them because if it's going to be successful, you know, they need support. But like some people are like, you know, it's intimidating. They're like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want you doing this, you know? And the reality is that I think that selflessness is important in everything, but everybody's on their own journey, even though you're journeying together.
Yeah.
So a part of it is accepting that person is going to do what they think is best for them. And if they think that, you know, they want to start a business or whatever it is, like you cannot stop them. My husband started a business that I didn't want to do. And like I couldn't do anything.
I was thinking more like, okay, I was thinking more like a threesome or something. Like, what if I said, like, going into a relationship, I'm okay with never experiencing?
Look, everybody, who else was caught off guard?
Okay, but it's real though. Like,
no, that's
okay.
real.
Personally, like, I'm not.
That will never happen. You
But
ain't getting no threesome from me. So,
okay, but I'm
so
just saying,
sorry.
like, what if that just became something that I just was like, all right, this is something I want to experience in my lifetime. So
Right. That's real.
Well, you better divorce me.
Alex,
You better divorce me if you want a threesome.
And that's a real important conversation though, because I feel like we live in this generation you know, whether or not whatever side we stand on, we are a part of a generation that's big on like sexual liberation. A lot of people are big on open relationships, not
Yeah.
being, you know what I'm saying, not having to be everything for somebody, letting
Oh
them
Lord.
go
My
sow their
mom in the
oats
comments.
and come home to me. Personally, not me. You're not gonna sow your oats and just come home and
Yeah.
But that's big and that's a big thing.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna lie, that is an important
But that
conversation for
changes though. I
couples.
mean, I'm saying that it's possible that a person is not going to be the same. Actually, it's almost 100% true that the person that you marry
Yeah,
is not
for
going to
sure.
stay the person that you married. I'm just saying that was just an extreme example, y'all. Like, I wasn't
No, I
trying to
hear
take it
you.
there,
I
but
hear you.
I'm trying to think of a more realistic example. Like,
That's realistic though. I don't know. I know a few people that have been in that same
yeah, people
situation.
do that. People do change their minds about that stuff later on.
Mm-hmm. They be sharing never mind, let me stop.
Don't stop. Say it.
Yeah,
Say
don't
it.
stop.
they be sharing their spouse with the streets. I know a few
Ooh,
people that do that.
yikes.
You know,
shoot.
and I say that as honestly as possible. I have some family friends that they about that life. Personally,
Yeah, yeah.
and
I'm
you
not
know,
about
so
that life either.
Boy.
I've even had some people tell me like, as you get older, it will become normal. Like you'll realize that you can't, hold somebody down. I'm like, I hope that's not the case.
You
But I've
can't
had people
hold
tell me that.
somebody down.
I'm just telling you what
Well,
somebody
first
said.
of all,
I had to say
and I
some
think,
shit.
and I think
We have
sometimes
to accept that shit.
there's
Right.
a little confusion. First of all, you're honoring your vows, your commitment. You know what I'm saying?
People don't do
There's the
that.
person, and then there's the commitment that you made. Like, so now you're saying you can't hold yourself down. That's really what you're saying. It's like,
Yeah,
I cannot honor me.
that's real. But I do think that's where like being on the same page goes. Because if you have two people that's on that liberated, open relationship type of wavelength, like it might be a happy ass time forever.
Mhm.
But you got one person that's down for it and one person that's not. It's gonna be some conflict. Some
Oh my
major
gosh, you gonna
conflict.
be so single, your head gonna spin around. Like, I'm never
Right.
going for it.
For real, for real.
Yo, Dreadhead Cowboy said, I have one fear in getting married. What if one day I come home to my wife cheating and I'll be hurt because I put love and trust in one person and I thought I'd love
Oh yeah.
until my last breath.
For
Speaking
sure.
of which, do anybody watch P Valley on Stars?
I do.
I
I
started
love
watching
P
it.
Valley.
If you saw the last episode, you know what I'm thinking. Because when he said
I
that, it
heard
made
that
me
was
think.
I
King.
do.
I heard they
Yeah.
was showing everything.
Don't
They
be
do. They
don't
be
be
showing them.
spoiling it because I ain't see it yet.
Okay,
I
yeah, we're
haven't
not gonna
seen the
say too
recent
much.
episodes.
But P Valley is
Damn, I
is
definitely
lit
think
in the
we should
last.
talk about monogamy now.
What
Good
made you think
shit.
about P Valley?
Right. And that's actually what I
I
wanted
don't want
to
to spoil
add.
it, but
What'd you want to
it was.
add, Lakeisha?
A lot of people talk about sexual liberation as like, sleeping with
Just
multiple
open
people.
relationship,
Sometimes,
pretty much.
yeah, and sometimes like sexual liberation can be, you're the most sexually liberated in a monogamous relationship. That's how I feel about myself. I'm a very like private person, and I like to be with one person, and I'm gonna do me, with that one person. So that's how I feel like about my sexual liberation. I do feel sexually liberated.
No, that's real though.
But
That's
for
real.
real, you can definitely free yourself with one person, 100%.
For sure.
And I always
I
be
think
thinking that too. Like, I feel like at what point do you get bored with one person? Like, I'm not there yet. Like, it's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that you can do
I
with one
know. I
person,
haven't
but
experienced
I
that.
think some people they don't already ran through the whips and the chains and the leather. So it's like now we gotta open it up some more. Like, I ain't even got to that point yet. So
Oh,
it's like,
shit.
I feel like people don't put the work into the mind,
Yes.
because that intellectual, like,
Stimulation.
mental, yes,
Yeah.
that can last you a long time.
Dreadhead
really
Cowboy
can.
says this generation is out of control. I ain't gonna lie, I partially do agree with that. Partially, I will say I think we a little bit wilding, but
Like
We
millennials or
are.
Gen Z, or like both.
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 Off
Both.
the chain.
These young folks,
Yeah.
man. But I ain't
How
mad
can
at
we?
it. I think
How can we change this generation's approach to dating, or can we?
We can't.
I
No,
don't think we can.
they
I think it's
doing
just
them.
about
It's
I
up.
think it's about like finding somebody that's got the same values. I think that's really important. Like it's
Yeah.
just about do your values for the most part match? And I always say for me when it comes to meeting people and dating, some things are negotiable and some things are non-negotiable. Like for me, violence. Anybody that is going to put their hands on me, because there's some
Mhm.
females out there that'll slap you up when they
Yep.
get mad.
And I would.
That's a
Mhm.
non-negotiable.
I
Absolutely
agree.
not. You know
I
what I'm saying?
agree.
But
Well,
it's
who's
certain
the
things that
culprit
are
though?
negotiable.
Who's the
What?
culprit for this generation's like viewpoint of dating? Because like I feel like we talking about this generation as if we not part of it, and like I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. Like, oh, I was born in the wrong generation. Like I don't I don't feel like I could find myself being compatible with anybody here. And I feel like generally people, like a lot of people say that from our generation, but then we the same people that has this like fucked up dating culture.
I ain't
So
gonna lie. I feel like partially the media, because like
yeah.
we grew up
I
on
was
like
exactly gonna say that.
you know, Jersey Shore, reality TV, Flavor of Love. Like I'm not gonna. I feel like we like to think we're not that impressionable, but media
Yeah.
influences kids, you know. And I
Yeah.
was reading this. I'm reading this book on marketing, and it talks about how like young people aspire up and older people aspire down. So when you have that golden age group, which is like 25 to 30, you know, when people are their most cute, typically speaking. Younger people aspire to that age group, and older people aspire down to that age group. And when you see people on, you know, these shows that's, you know, sleeping with this person, that person, talking to this, talking about that, whether we realize it or not, especially as young people, teenagers, pubescent, like that's influential. It's very influential.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the music too. I mean, I fuss with some of these artists, but at the same time, like I have to pretty much differentiate between what they're saying and like how I'm gonna approach relationships and situations. Because I literally like listening to I fuck with that song "Wait for You" by Future, but Drake talking about I can't make a career off of loving you or whatever he said. I can't prove I love you for a living, and like I don't know the exact verse, but it's just like, damn, do you value money over relationships? Or like, what are you trying to say with that?
Yeah, I do not like Future at all. He's nasty and he
Oh yeah, he is
disrespects
like a
women
very toxic person, but
all over the place. Like I just don't agree with his music. So yeah. But I agree, yeah.
Not too much on the Future bashing. Not too much. He's a little
I
toxic.
definitely listen to Drake and Future, and Future is definitely a toxic king. He definitely hit that on the head. I'm still gonna listen to the music because I do like knowing what people think. I like knowing how people think, how they approach things. You know, it doesn't mean I'm gonna behave that way, but it is interesting to be.
But we are funding essentially this music by listening to it, reposting it.
I would like challenge that. Like I don't think we're exactly funding it. We are per se, but like not.
Like people wouldn't be making that music if that's not what the the general population wanted to hear.
That's not true at all. And go ahead, Alex, and then I'm gonna go.
Okay, I was talking more about like the under agenda behind the agenda. Like I feel like there's an agenda to get people to do certain things. I think there's spiritual and mental things going on that we aren't really considering that gets people to do certain things and think a certain way, which restrains us to move forward in certain directions. Like I think it is funded.
That's right. You gotta get spiritual.
To an extent, it's like we are funding it, but to an extent, like we're not funding it. Because if you talk to a lot of people our age, a lot of people would agree with you on a day-to-day conversation. They can literally choose to have different lyrics, but still have the same beat and still have good energy. Like that's literally a choice, and people would still listen to it. But it's like what people are putting out there. I think it's bigger than just that simple to me.
I feel like I know, you know, some people, you know, agendas and things I hear about, but I think more importantly, I think when it comes to business and the business of music and TV, people put out stuff that makes people feel something. You know what I'm saying? So shows that are sexually charged, you know what I'm saying? Reality shows, etc. Music that is sexually charged in whatever direction, whatever way. When they say sex sells, they mean because when people listen to it, they feel you know, a little warm, a little hot, and that's
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think like it really comes down to like marketing and what sells. And I think, you know, with that, of course, it's important to have a strong mind and hold on to your values. Because like Lakeisha, the fact that Lakeisha said she liked Future shocked me a little bit, but I also think it's possible to listen to.
I've been listening to Future since he was like just trap, like just releasing trap records.
And I
So,
imagine you can separate his music from
You
your
can,
personal values and how
but
you're treated as a woman.
absolutely.
You know what I'm
no,
saying?
you
Yeah.
definitely can, but I think it also kind of just encourages and reinforces this idea that we can treat people any kind of fucking way. And in the comments, though, I
good
just
point.
wanted to shout out a couple of things. Like Rich said, most people value money over loyalty. Dreadhead Calvo said, I personally value loyalty more because money can't buy respect or love. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that you can grow a successful business and make millions with the person that is standing by your side like the whole time. So I feel like that
I
shit goes
agree.
hand in hand. Like nobody gets anywhere on their own. So
That's real. And I think, too, it's important that we put, I think it's easy to put celebrities on a certain type of pedestal. I think they deserve to be on a certain pedestal. And I use the word pedestal loosely, but they deserve to have reverence for, like, their business savvy, perhaps, or their talent, perhaps. But to say that Future is not a fragile, you know what I'm saying, traumatized, his ex hurt him type of person, like, he is a person just like I am a person, just
I
like y'all
agree.
are people. You know what I'm saying? And even with certain people and who they marry, like I've heard criticism around like you know, Nicki Minaj and her husband, because he a criminal, like for sure. But it's like she a person. Who I know some people in my family that have married felons.
Yeah, people marrying dudes in jail. The dude's still in jail and they're marrying them. So
the whole franchise on that.
Right, but it ain't to say that that's, you know, right or wrong, but it's like that's real. Like people do that in real life. Like people see past people's crimes and, you know, mistakes and they still love them. You know what I'm saying? They love them before they do something that's stupid, go to jail, pay their debt to society, come back out, and then they still love them. So it's like, and I ain't trying to say that's right or wrong, but the point is like with Future, like I really, and especially with his newer album, he's gotten, I think, a little bit more vulnerable. Like, he clearly, somebody hurt that man a while ago, and he ain't never let it go. And that's real. Like, and that's how the toxic men develop. You know what I'm saying?
Or just toxic people in general.
Toxic people in general. You know?
I think people are saying what's on their soul at the end of the day. Like, that's what's they've been through, and that's what they're saying. I don't think it's necessarily always an agenda or it's a business strategy. Like, when I started listening to Future, he was talking about, you know, selling drugs and whatnot. And it was just music he was making. I don't think he was thinking, if I talk about this, I'm gonna become a millionaire, you know? Like, he was just,
I don't even think it's them though. It depends on the industry or who you sign to or whatever too. Like that.
Like they want them to continue to produce that type of music so they can make money.
They might encourage that.
Maybe, but I think it comes down to what sells. And I always say, like, for somebody, when you know, express yourself honestly, for everybody that does not agree with you, there's somebody who does. So I feel like it's important to have, you know, people with all these different opinions. I find it very kind of, I guess, strange that, you know, certain type of music is more popular than other types of music, but you do got, you know, Blast, who's one of my favorite artists. You got Russ. You got, you know what I'm saying, J. Cole. You got people that have more positive messages, and we have the option to listen to who we want to listen to.
We do.
Like, I ain't gonna lie, Future, he go dumb after a breakup. When you break up, especially if somebody do you wrong, Future might get you right for a little second, you know, get you through that time. And then when you're ready to love again, then you might start listening to some Blast or some, you know what I'm saying, Bryson Tiller. Like, so that's up to us, I think, you know, who we relate to.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing some funny stuff in the chat. Somebody said Sierra hurt Future.
Oh, shit.
I don't know if that's the primary one, but I know it was a big one because she leveled all the way up, and they don't like it when you do that.
They don't. They don't.
Really
Look,
don't.
we don't. Now,
look at Isaac though, holding it down for the men out here. I'm glad you're representing for us.
I don't think our generation is lost though in terms of like dating. Like, people will never be able to find love and things like that. I just think, like, I agree with Isaac. You just have to find someone that holds your values.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Dreadhead Cabo said, my whole family good for talking to the people in jail.
I know, I saw that.
And that's why when people be bashing, I'll be like, I mean, I feel like, I don't know. That's another
They need love, but do I want my family loving them? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
Where
just
do you
like,
go to look for love these days? Because, like,
exactly, like if you're going to like people in prison to find love, I do have to wonder. I
no, it's
do.
one thing.
Like,
It's one thing to find them in prison. Like if you visiting a jail
right.
shopping for men, that's one thing. But if you meet somebody and then they get locked up and then they come back out, like why? Who's to say they don't deserve love? Like we
I
all
agree.
make
But
mistakes,
there are
and
people
some of us
actually
get caught.
shopping the prisons, though. They're shopping the
Well, that's
prisons. They're
different.
like
That's a
getting
mental health
pen
issue.
pals and becoming seriously.
That's a mental health issue. If that's your type, that's a problem. But somebody fall into bad fortune or bad, they get caught doing something. And like we all young, like come on now. And I also be feeling like that's another conversation. But when you young, especially depending on where you come from, you can't blame somebody for doing certain things when they come from a certain area. Like we all kind of got to mature in our own way. So I don't know. I don't be liking the convict bashing too much because I'm from that place.
yeah. I mean, we're all flawed in our own ways.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So, one last kind of lighthearted question. So, it's your first date with a guy or a girl, and y'all get the bill. So,
He
I
paid
did.
who's paying that bill?
He paid the bill.
Who's paying?
Never had to pay a bill.
I'm gonna prepare
He's
myself.
paying the bill.
I'm gonna prepare myself right now to get bashed.
Yeah, I just want to get rid the part.
I
Let me
know
go
he
first.
said he wanted Michelle Obama, not a soccer mom, a long time ago.
Lakeisha knows me because that's
I
my
remember.
thing. At least reach for it. I like the little fight. Like, oh no,
I'm with-
like,
But the thing is, though, if you ask me out, like, you need to pay. Like, if you extended that invitation, you need to pay for it. But if it was like a mutual agreement, like it was a conversation, okay, we can have it. Or if I ask you out, then I'll pay for it. But if you ask me, you definitely need to pay for it. Period.
If you like
I think
woman,
no matter what, if it's the first date, you paying for it. Like I don't care
Right.
if I reached out or hopped in the DMs and whatever. I still think that you should pay for it just because it's like that just tells me that you value my time. And I'm always
Right.
I feel like I always I probably would make the offer no matter what. I'll be like,
Right.
we could go half. But it's really I feel like for me it's really a test to see like how much you value me and my time. And if it works out well, I might pay for the next one. So
Exactly.
so here's my thing.
Can I say this disclaimer real quick before Isaac goes? One time I went on a date and the guy didn't pay for it, and the guy and I halved it, and I told Isaac, and he basically like agreed with the guy, and I was really upset, and I'm like, I'm never coming to Isaac again.
But let me give some context though. So here's my thing. This is how I'm thinking in terms of, and since I've had a kid, my opinions have changed a bit. But even before I had a kid, I had a baby sister. And what I know about men is that when men pay for stuff, not all the time, I never generalize. So I think whenever any of us say something, obviously we ain't talking about all men. We ain't talking about all women, et cetera, et cetera. But men oftentimes when they pay for things, they expect things. And I've witnessed things secondhand where a man will pay for a woman's dinner, pay for a woman's drink. Now all of a sudden, he pressing you a little bit harder, right? Or he having these expectations on what you're supposed to do later or whatever. And that to me is not always good. And I do feel like the rhetoric or the meaning behind a man paying for a woman's date is that whole classic primal, instinct of a man securing and making a woman feel secure and safe and provided for, even if it's on the first date, which I agree with. I think that's important. But I feel like in today's world, back in the day, a man paying for more bills or providing in a certain way, women not having to work, that was the time, 50, 60 years ago, I Love Lucy era, that was a thing.
Yeah.
The wage gap was huge. The wage gap now is still present, but it's smaller. So I don't know. I just feel like it's case by case. I think that personally, I don't think it should be an expectation. I think a woman should go into a date prepared to pay for herself and let it be a gesture and let it happen if it feels right. Quite frankly, I feel like if you're not feeling the dude, I don't think you should let him pay because that's a mixed message.
I feel that. I get that.
If you get to the end of the day
with you, yeah, for sure. But I'm not about to pay.
Not pick it up necessarily, but
yeah,
I feel like let it be a gesture. And quite frankly, I'm also say too, and I'm gonna end it with this. My standpoint, at least, is that I I like to be spoiled too. Buy me a
But I think
drink,
that you
buy
would
me a
get that.
dinner. I like flowers too. I like chocolate, babe.
I
I
know
like
that's
all
right.
that.
Okay, but that would probably most likely happen after the first date.
Right. We talking about the first date, Isaac.
Yeah, we talking about
Yeah.
the first date.
So I
I'm
will
not
say,
opposed. I'm not opposed to being treated on the first date,
But I
personally.
agree with what he's saying in the comments. Like, if it maybe just do a smaller date, like coffee, or maybe just
Yeah,
something. Like, if it's like an affordability issue or an expense issue, it's $5. It's not that serious.
yeah, that's
Like,
true.
and Isaac's saying too, like, okay, so it's an exchange. So that's wild to me that in society, just because you pay for a $30 dinner, I gotta give you something. That's crazy.
that is
No,
It's
wild for
$30.
sure. I don't know.
I'm not getting
I don't
food
know
out,
where
so there
that
ain't no
comes from,
expectation.
but
I
I know
mean,
that
yeah,
for my
it's weird,
first
but it's
date
real.
that I ever went on, I actually didn't know if he was gonna pay, so I did have my own money and things like that. But I also remember planning, like, if he doesn't pay for this date, I'm never going out with him again, because I
had that
never
in my
want to
Right.
head
feel
too.
like that again. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know who's responsible for paying. Like,
yeah.
I didn't like that.
No, for real. If you like, even if I offer to split it and you accept it, it might make me think a little bit differently about you. I mean, I might go on another date to just see what happens, but I don't know. It's just something about that first date that I kind of, especially if you are the person that asked me on the date, I'm I'm coming in with that expectation. I'm gonna be prepared to pay for myself because I
Of
can,
course, of
but
course.
I don't know.
But look,
And
I'm just
Michelle,
not.
okay, what was that analogy you made about Michelle? Michelle was not just made overnight. Like, it takes a second to, you
But
know,
when
build a
Barack met
system.
Michelle, she was
A lawyer with her
she was
Yeah,
own
already a
period.
lawyer, and
page.
just realistically, in that moment, from the outside looking in, she was making more money than him. And I mean, this is a
Right.
question for y'all. Say you
Mm.
meet a dude that you like, and
Don't
you
ask that.
making way more money than him. You know what I'm saying? But you like him, and he's cool, and he's on the come up, he grinding. Do you feel obliged to pay for the first date because you know you make more
Oh,
money, or is that not the point?
That's not the point.
it's not the
Yeah,
point. And
that,
I
I
low key
agree.
wanna
That's
I
not the
wanna
point.
talk to this point that Alante said because he's gonna say shorty be independent until the first date. But like independency does not mean that you can't um receive help or assistance from your significant other because I feel like I've definitely dated people who act like there's just nothing I need out of you financially or anything because I make more money. But like you can still treat and spoil me just because
Absolutely.
I'm the breadwinner. Like or not the breadwinner, but just the person that's making more money because it's not like we married or anything. But
I think it's a gesture. I think it should not be
yeah,
seen as a like this dude has to pay for my dinner or I have to pay for this girl's dinner. I think it is a gesture. I think you go on a date, to me in a perfect world, you go on a date, y'all both kind of vibing. If it
hmm
goes very well, somebody, whether it be either party, I do think more than likely it should be the man, should feel if it goes well, somebody should feel like I should pick this up because I want this to happen again. You know what I'm saying? And I enjoy myself, you know?
but I
So
think if you get the first date, I almost always get the second date.
that's real. And that's
So
good. But
And
I
I
never
have some
did that.
friends. I ain't gonna put none of my friends out there, but I have some friends that get bored. They scroll through their DMs and they get they free lunch, and they ain't serious, and they
oh,
not
I've
gonna
been
have the
that
second.
person.
They're not gonna get the second date because it's not gonna be a second date. They just want some
Yeah,
lunch. So
yeah.
what about that?
I mean, we all
But
love free
that's a
food.
different intention though. You're not going out to date that person. You going out for free food. Like I mean, that's just a different.
That's
But
me.
that's
And
not.
I had a
That's
friend
not
who
saying
used to
that's
do
not right.
that
It's
consistently.
not right.
Like, she was dating guys just to, get food or whatever. And I was like,
You guys, literally summer advantage 2018, us, free food. Like, everybody loves the free food. Just want to put that out there. Like, we was
But
always
that's.
eating the free food.
But I
Sorry.
agree
right.
with
I
Lakeisha
would
in that that's not
I've been
really
that
right
person
though.
though, and I
I
can
would
honestly
spend
admit that
somebody's
that's
money
not
like that.
okay.
I just
I
wouldn't.
mean, yeah, it's definitely not. It's definitely not. It's not the best approach, and I could own up to having been that person before. But I think that that was also just an internal struggle too, because I just wasn't ready to commit to one single person, and I'm like trying to find love in all these different people, and
Hmm.
like it was a free meal, but it just never turned out to be anything more than that.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
it's not worth your time. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I was watching TikToks of the girl got a free drink from a guy, but it's like, do I really want to sit here and hear you talk for 30 minutes for a free drink? Like, sometimes it's like just not
I
worth
Nah.
it.
know. I never even
I
that
feel like
just
I'm
has
old though
never
now.
crossed my mind. Actually, the first time a guy that like I wasn't really I was just getting to know him, he offered to buy me some food. I was like, why are you buying me food? I guess guys do that too as like a way to get you to I don't know what they
I
think is gonna
agree.
happen if you buy them some Chipotle, but like
Yeah.
I
I was
agree. I feel like
definitely
that's a
offered
dynamic.
food.
I think that's a dynamic that me personally, I kind of want to see us. I don't know. I don't want to say get away from because my thing is not about the money. Like I'm the type of person that I'm gonna spoil my friends. Like I buy my
Yeah.
friends drinks, buy my friends dinner, birthdays, whatever. And I mean, to me, it is the expectation that not that I'm just gonna spend all this money on you, but that it's this back and forth, take turns type of thing. But like, if I don't know somebody like that, even if we're dating, like personally, I'm hesitant to spend money on you. Especially if we go on a date and it don't go very well, I'm not gonna pay just because the man is supposed to pay, or I don't think I should have to just because the
Yeah.
man is supposed to. Like this was bad. It was a bad time.
Yeah.
Like hypothetically
But if
speaking.
it's a bad first date, you're probably not going to go on another one, right?
But
So
the
what you
point is,
so
do the
how do
man gotta pay?
how do you approach that though? Are you going to just say like, yeah, I don't see this working out. Like maybe we should split it. Like how do you even do that?
I ain't gonna lie, I've never actually been in that situation, but I also the reason why I ain't gonna say why I feel so strongly, but I'm also the type of person like I've never bought a woman a drink in order to meet her and talk to her. Like my thing is, you gonna talk to me because I look good and because I'm, what I'm saying, I'm fly, or we just not gonna talk. Like I don't gotta buy your time. And at the end of the day, if it's vibing, okay,
Right.
now I might get you to drink, but I'm not gonna
Yeah.
run up on some like, can I buy you a drink? Like, nah, how you doing? What's up?
Yeah.
Do you got a man? Because don't let me buy you that drink and now I found out you got a man. Because now I'm salty. Now I don't wasted $8, $9, $10. Like,
I'm
so
actually confused as to why if a date goes bad, you suddenly don't have to pay. I don't understand that
If you
because
were the one that asked it too, for real, for real.
I mean, I've never been in that situation. I'm just saying hypothetically, like, why is the man just expected to pay automatically, especially if he didn't enjoy himself? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Why should he
Can I
have to
say
pay?
this might be like kind of changing topics, but and I don't know how long this is, Aja, but are we gonna touch on like singleness at all? Because like, and I know it's like we've already talked for an hour, but it's like for most of
Yeah.
my life, all of like let me say 99.99% of my life I've been single and not on dates, you know?
Yeah.
So even
Yeah.
me speaking to this subject is sometimes kind of challenging because it's all of what I heard from my friends or what I've seen, not some things I haven't even like experienced.
Yeah.
So like how are you guys in your single time? Like how is that? I don't know how you want to pose a question around it, but
So
I think that
I think singleness is a really great place to find self-love, the things that you really want in somebody and don't want, your non-negotiables. I think I've always been like my best self as a single person because I'm not so like blinded or feeling like I'm like losing myself in someone else. And I feel like I've done that in relationships because of that whole what Isaac was saying, like love at first sight thing. And I will stop doing things that I love doing just to like spend all of my time and energy in someone else. And I kind of have that expectation that they're going to do the same for me, but they're still living their best life. And I can get extremely like jealous of just that because I'm like, damn, you still out here playing basketball, going to these events and all this other stuff. And I'm over here just expecting you to spend all your time with me. So I think that being single has like given me the opportunity to spend time with myself, do the things that I love, and really learn that I will never compromise on that again, like going into a relationship. I'm still gonna have like my own self and be my own person, whether I'm in a relationship or not.
That's real. That's real.
yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel like singleness to me, ideally, is you're supposed to be in a relationship with yourself. And by that, I just
Mm-hmm.
mean like the things you would do for somebody else, do for yourself. Like that's what I've been doing since I've been single. Like buying good food, you know what I'm saying? Going to see things, I don't know, reaching milestones, helping myself, because I think when you're in a relationship, it's very important to invest in the other person's goals, but invest in your own goals. Get yourself to this next step. Like, self-love is real. It's
Hmm.
real, and it's something that I think a lot of people sometimes can miss out on because
Yeah.
depending on how much love you look from the outside and from the inside, which we all have different levels of both. But it's important not to seek or require too much from the outside. Like, I think it's
Yeah.
healthy to require something outside, but you got to require it and give it to yourself as well. So I think singleness is about like just loving on yourself and treating yourself right.
I
Yeah,
think
I love that.
another note on that too is that a lot of people associate singleness with being alone. And being single does not mean that you're alone. And being alone is also not like a mental ill or some sort of illness or anything like that. I think that it's a really good opportunity, and especially if you're a spiritual person, like I've been the closest with God, and just really trying to follow what his path is for me, has really helped me understand that being single and alone is just a good space to focus on yourself, pretty much. And
Yeah, I
God is
agree.
building me to be prepared for that right person. I think in my singleness, I get a lot of experience and growth, and being the person that I'm supposed to be in preparation for my husband, if that's in the cards for me.
Hmm.
I just want to
I,
encourage you
I
guys in
agree.
your singleness, like you'll never get it back once it's gone. So,
No, for
I
real
mean, you
though.
might, but the circumstances probably won't be that great.
Yeah, I'm about to
So,
say, sometimes we
right,
do.
right.
Sometimes
Man,
So,
we do get it
but
back.
just
okay,
be just
and
be
I was
encouraged.
engaged. I was engaged, so I was almost locked into
Yeah,
that
you were,
forever with
you were,
somebody. And I
you
think
Yeah,
were.
Isaac, you too, right?
I was. Let's move on. Now, but let's move on. Nah,
Yeah, I
nah,
just
but
meant
no,
that,
that's
like,
real.
embracing singleness and being
Yeah.
like realizing that there's power in that as well.
Absolutely,
Yeah, because I
absolutely.
always thought like I was okay. So I thought like, okay, so I'm into certain types of things, and I'm gonna find a guy that's into different types of things. Therefore, we're gonna fit together, and that's how it's gonna go. But I've learned like, okay, so instead of expecting someone to bring that, I'm gonna go explore that for myself
Hmm.
and actually like really dive deep into that. Because something is like, I really want a guy that's like into art, into art curation, into painting, and all those things because my artistic side, I want him to bring that out of me. But it's like,
Yeah.
no, like I can bring that outside of myself. Like I can find ways to do that for me.
Yeah.
Therefore, not only will I be able to bring it out of me, but I'll more likely attract that person because I'm putting myself in those spaces so
Hmm.
I can find that person.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, and I
Absolutely.
like what Isaac said about like treating yourself because I feel like it's really important to spoil myself. I can be
Hmm.
very hands on with money. Like when it comes to money, like I like to hold it tight. So sometimes when I would go out and get the check and it's like $35, I'm like, ugh, that's a lot of money. But I'm
Yeah.
trying to get into this space like I deserve to spend that $35 on myself. I
Hmm.
deserve to spend that 100 on me, because when a guy does it, it's like, oh, a no brainer. But when I
Yeah.
do it for myself, I'll be stressed out, and that doesn't make any sense. So it's like
Yeah.
if I expect to get that energy from somebody else, I have to put that energy out
Into
there
your,
so I get it back.
yes.
So it's like I need to keep like that self-care thing is key because when you self-caring is a part of confidence as well, and people are more attracted to that.
Mm.
So it's like
Yeah.
all connected.
You
Because
I
can't
that's
love
agree.
why
nobody if you don't love yourself.
right, people
Absolutely.
sometimes attract the wrong people because the way they care for themselves is wrong. But when you
Yeah.
care for yourself correctly, you're only gonna let so many people in. So
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
I think relationships are about lessons for real. And I think that when you don't, you know, embrace or take advantage of singleness, especially between relationships, I think you deprive yourself of those lessons because, like, it makes me actually think about like therapy. You don't
Mm.
go see your therapist, to me, for me personally, because I am in therapy and I love therapy and it's very helpful. Even when I'm on point, I still feel like therapy is helpful. But the point is,
Yeah.
you don't go to therapy every week. Me, I don't. I go, take notes, I reflect on it, I shift things based on what I've learned about myself, and then I go back to therapy. You know what I'm saying? And with relationships, like, even if they did you wrong, whatever, you definitely learn things about yourself as well. So it's like take that time to reflect and really think about the next step you're going to take romantically and what that should look like. And I feel like that's where I'm at personally. It's like I ain't even trying to think about nobody's relationship or my, I ain't trying to,
Yeah.
not
That
yet.
I will
Yeah.
say that's one thing
But
I don't.
the DMs is open though. I just want to put that out there. They
I
are
feel like
open.
my DMs are mildly open because that shit's been flooded lately. Not gonna lie, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but
Oh, that's right, girl. You've been looking good. You have. You've been posting some great photos. But I was just going to say that I feel like one thing I don't like about our generation is just the lack of self-awareness and personal responsibility. I think I'm constantly, and that's why I have to get off social media, like for real, because I'm constantly seeing people talking about how great they were. I was this. I did this for this person. And, I never made a mistake. I didn't hurt them. They hurt me. It's always I. And I just can't
they play the
stand it
victim.
because
They
you
play the
definitely
victim.
had a role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like when people play the victim, would you say, Aja?
I was just gonna say you have to have a level of introspection when a relationship ends because it doesn't end solely because of the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean too, I can't get with the ex bashing too much because at a certain point,
it's a reflection of
them.
you. Yes.
Right.
Your partner, the current, whatever it is, it's a reflection of you.
Exactly.
You ain't never gonna catch me bashing none of my exes too bad because at a certain point I thought they was real fly.
Right.
Real cute, real together. You know what I'm saying?
You definitely thought there was something good about them.
Yeah, and I mean even now, like it still is. Like I don't know. I feel like it's important. I like to think I'm not like a corny person when it comes to breakups because like when you love somebody, just because they do you wrong or they make a mistake or y'all grow in different directions or they're not able to or you're not able to or whatever, like that don't take away from the love and the experiences y'all had and the lessons. Like, so I don't know. I feel like once I love somebody, I feel like I always love them. And sometimes it's from a distance and sometimes it's from a distance. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
And Lakeisha, I like what you said earlier about like the victim and Audra saying this. You said Audra the victim because I think we really do have to get out of that like victim mentality. Like there's this one gospel song I love and it's like instead of being the victim, I'm the victor. And it's all about that mind switch because it's going to change your thoughts and your approach in life all the time and the words you use and the things that you attract. It's so huge. Like when it comes to money, when it comes to your time, all those things, it's really important to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Honey.
Man, we could go on and on and on about this topic. We really could. But, I appreciate y'all coming onto my show. This was the premiere episode of On Call. I appreciate everyone in the live. I just wanted to share just a couple updates before we go log off. But I just wanted to let y'all know that we're going to have a YouTube channel for On Call. So our episodes will be broadcasted there. And we're also looking to have a For You or For the People segment, or episode. So please slide in the DMs with any type of topics y'all want to hear about because we can talk about anything. This is an open forum for everybody. Thank y'all so much for joining. Thank you guys for coming on to the show. I
better get another call.
You'll definitely get another call. You definitely will. I appreciate y'all.
I love the name. The name is brilliant. I love that.
Yes. And our series is going to be the call log. So the call log is going to be each episode. So, yeah, we got big things coming. I'm going to definitely be posting new episodes. So definitely tap in. But I appreciate y'all again. Once again, thank y'all for joining.
Oh, shit. My phone died.
I hope y'all.
We can still hear you, bro. Not talking. Oh, shit.